Art is my life, and my life is art. I write, I cook, I practice yoga, I paint and draw nearly every day. Usually I work on one project with a specific concept, and when I finish that project, I start a new one. Since I moved to Ireland in 2009, I've finished about 6 different projects which I exhibited in Iran, Ireland, Belgium, London and New York. Beside my personal studio practice, I'm very interested in community-based and collective art projects. Thanks to Arts Council Ireland, I get funds to finish my non-commercial projects. Since 2020, I've worked with screen prints and linoleum prints a lot. One of my favorite museums in Dublin is Chester Beatty, which I worked there since 2010. I also teach art since I was 16. This sharing knowledge with other people is a very joyful act for me, and it's a kind of fulfilling my life during all these years, and it seems like it's my mission in my lifetime. This current project is a continuation of my fantasy chaos project, which I started in 2017. I watch lots of sci-fi, fantasy, science fiction movies. For example, 2 of my favorites are Ghost in the Shell and Sandman. I believe our life without social media, Google search, Wikipedia, and such would be totally different, and honestly, I don't have any problem with using new technologies, apps and digital resources. These technologies help me a lot to learn about different cultures, to self-educate myself. Of course, there are always Persian elements, patterns and mythology presented in my works. These elements come naturally as they're inside my cell, flesh and bones. My main interests in general are researching on old manuscripts, including Persians, medieval art, and any kind of old manuscript is fascinating for me. I'm interested to find out how these people used to make these amazing books. In my studio, I have lots of digitally printed images. Whatever I see online, and I think I might use it in some projects, I just keep them. Material is another fascinating dimension in my artworks. I do research on different kinds of plywood, parchment, and paper. Japanese rice paper is what I work on the past 5 years on. Different kind of paper, including gampi and kuzu. Some of them are very thin. I love to work on strong, transparent papers. In this current project, I've decided to work on long rolls. So to hang these rolls, I need a high ceiling, and the courthouse gallery, which I'm going to present these works for the first time, is a really perfect space to hang them from the ceiling. In all these pieces, you see some images of patterns, weapons, insects, and some unnatural creatures, mixing of human and animal. Patterns come from different cultures, including Persian, Chinese, African, Indian, Arabesque, European, and even Native American. This repetitive act of creating patterns from a basic shape is really meditative and a spiritual act for me. And also considering my background in mathematics makes me go for creating new patterns, especially geometric patterns. Creating geometric patterns are my favorite. Insects also have been always fascinating creatures for me. Insects are the most diverse group of animals. There are about 5.5 million insects in existence, of which about just 1 million have been described and named. They existed from nearly 400 million years ago, long before human beings on Earth. Also, the insects have a social behavior, which makes them even more interesting. In lots of mythologies, insects were mentioned as monstrous creatures or sometimes helpful goddess creatures. Actually, personally, I have a phobia of insects and extreme fear. Maybe by drawing them, I try to battle my phobia and fear. I believe human beings might be just bugs in the universe, or possibly many universes. We kill bugs by stepping on them, sprays and chemicals, and also so many other ways, as they are usually troublesome in most cases. But they stay alive, they are still here, and they will be. The weapons in my artworks are the contemporary touch I like to add. Probably the trauma I experienced in my childhood during Iran-Iraq war has an impact on it. And by following news, there are always wars happening everywhere, and it seems they never end. I like the shape of some weapons, especially the cold weapons, such as daggers and swords. Then there are my chimera creatures, which are mixed of parts of human beings and animals. These creatures were existed among lots of cultures, including Greeks, Egyptians, and Persians, such as Phoenix, which everyone knows. There are a lot of them in contemporary futuristic films and series to portray mysterious aliens or hidden creatures we cannot see. The concept of fantasy is fascinating for me, and I enjoy creating my own chimeras. By mixing different elements in my drawings, I show the mismatch that existed in our daily life, in our brain, and in our society.